Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So it has been a long time since I've done a Tumbler video, and Jamie has been waiting so patiently for me. So she wants a tumbler with her dog on it, and her dog is the cutest dog I have seen in so long. Look at this picture on the screen. This is her dog. Isn't it adorable? Oh my gosh. So we're going to put that on this tumbler. So this tumbler I pulled out is actually a sublimation tumbler, and it doesn't matter. So that just means that there's this white coating on it that you can sublimate a picture into this forever, but you don't have to use it for that. I'm going to use it for epoxy today. So I was going to spray paint a tumbler white before I realized I already had the white in the sublimation, and why use the stainless steel when I've already taken a step off of my plate. So we're going to do a cool technique that is great for beginners actually, and I'm using all these pinks. There's one by Picasso, one by Bria Reese, 3 by Pixis, and they all are different shades of pink: dark pink, light pink, bright pink, you know, the whole shebang. So, but before we do that, we need to prep this, and I need gloves on. 1 second. I totally forgot to grab my gloves. Sorry guys. We're going to sand the surface down so the resin will adhere and not make any what we call fish eyes. And fish eyes are no fun to deal with on a tumbler. It takes so much work to get them off if you let them cure. So if you do end up with fish eyes, and the fish eyes just means that when the resin gets put on the tumbler, it splits and it makes these like eyes, and it looks like a spider web effect all over your cup because it's not sticking to the shiny surface. And if you let that cure, it's a nightmare. You have to sand it all down. So I do end up getting them quite often, but before I let that cure, I wipe that all off. So we're gonna just say we're not gonna get fish eyes today. I'm not even putting that out there in the atmosphere because I don't want to deal with fish eyes. I do use a different resin for my tumblers, and it is the CC DIY Counterculture DIY Fast Set, because this stuff sets up, it's nice and thick, it sets up in like an hour. It's really great. So I don't want a lot of time for the epoxy to play games with me, so I do spend quite a lot more money on this one, but it is well worth it in the end, so I don't have to keep wiping off the epoxy, redoing it, and starting over again, because this is going to take 3 to 4 coats depending on how well I can get it smooth. Now on any tumbler I always check the bottom, and this one has a little sticker on the bottom I see, and I generally will take that sticker off and fill this bottom in with UV resin and a light. So all I'm going to do, I already have it on the arm just so it's easier to grip. So let me grab what kind of resin here. I'm going to use my clear hard type. And I'm just going to, and you'll probably won't be able to see it. All I'm going to do, it's probably way too close to the camera, so I apologize if it is. I will try to back up the camera as much as I can. I'm just going to make it go to all the edges. And if you can't see it, all I'm doing is filling in this indentation so we can have a flat bottom. And I'm just going to cure it real quick with a flashlight. And then I will throw it under my light to cure completely. And then I'm going to take my sandpaper. I've got 220 grit. You can use whatever grit you want. All I want to do is scratch up the surface. But first I want to get this UV resin adhered before I begin. So let me finish this. I just made it pop out of the edge, so let me wipe that off. I'm going to go ahead and get this cured under the big light, and then we'll start sanding. That is nice and cured, although it's not level, but it doesn't matter because we're going to sand it down anyway. And I'm just going to scratch the surface. I don't want to take the paint off or anything because you can go too far, because I do want a white base. And I might end up using a little bit of white alcohol ink. It just depends on what the color scheme starts looking like once it's on the tumbler. You'll know when I start. I did this one like a long time ago, way in the beginning of my YouTube days. This one is so perfect for all of you who have never done it. You'll pretty much have a great tumbler the first time if you want to try this technique. Yet it looks really cool. So once it's done, you're going to want to spray. That's all I'm going to do, not very much, just to scratch it. You can wash it with soapy water. Don't touch it with your hands. That is the worst thing you can do, is touching a tumbler with your hands ungloved. If you touch it with your hands, that's when you start getting the fish eyes. So I'm just going to clean this really good. Wipe all that dust off, any oils from my skin from grabbing it out of the other room, and clean it really, really well. And it'll dry in a matter of seconds. And the bottom is good. It'll be all evened out once all the epoxy's on. So now we're ready to start. So I'm just going to put this on the tumbler turner and get about I don't know, 20 or 30 milliliters of resin prepped and mixed. You want a heavy douse of resin on this technique. So we want all of our colors to be flowing and moving for a little while before it sets up. I've mixed up 20 milliliters of the resin. You're gonna have millions of bubbles in there, which is fine because we're spreading it on so thin, and the torch and the heat gun will take them out. I'm right-handed, so my tumbler turner is turning to the right. If you're left-handed, you're gonna want to turn it to the left, which you could do that. Most of them, the power button, if you turn it off and on, it'll switch directions. So I'm just gonna take this and start at the bottom and start rubbing a nice, good layer all over this tumbler. You can see I dripped a few alcohol inks on it already, which is no big deal. I'm just gonna pour it on, let the turner do the turning. You don't need to chase your resin, it's gonna come right back to you. So on this first coat, because of the technique we're doing, we want a decent coat. Generally, I don't like to put thick coats on, but when you want your resin to move, for this technique, you do want a nice thick coat. And then I'm gonna heat it up with my heat gun, and we're gonna loosen it up a little bit more. Make sure it's all over the whole tumbler, the bottom and the sides. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of it on just because of what we're gonna do with this one. Just get it evenly. And if it's too much, I'll pull some off. I'll just pull it back off with your hand. And if you have too much, it'll probably be lumpy, and then you'll have to sand down even more. Okay. I'm just going to wipe my hands off real quick. And grab, you can use a torch, you can use a heat gun. Either one of them is going to lower the viscosity. Maybe I'll use a torch and get all these bubbles out. Just go all the way around it, get all these bubbles out. And that just lowered the viscosity for me. Now you can, I'm going to be turning the direction both ways. So right now, I think I want it to turn that way. So I just used my power button. I'm just going to take the alcohol inks and randomly drop my colors. And it doesn't matter which way they flow because like I said, I'm going to turn my, don't forget your bottom. I'm going to turn my tumbler different ways. That way we can get cool patterns. So I'm just going to go through all 5 colors till we get a cool swirling design. Try to get some of each color on the bottom. That was number 3. They're all a little bit different, not like drastically different. What I'm going to do is try to get them all over the white. And then we're gonna see what they look like and make adjustments. Let it turn for a while. And then, oh, I don't want to torch it yet because those are alcohols. We can heat gun it. Let me grab my heat gun. That's just going to loosen it up and let it flow and move. And as you see spaces that you want filled, you would just pour some more alcohol in those spots. I'm just going to let it turn for a little bit and see what it does. Keep changing some colors. Some of them I'm almost out of. So I want mostly pink. She was going back and forth between glitter and then I suggested maybe try a swirling design, so she let me take it from there, which is cool. And let's just wait till it goes all the way around. It's gonna look drastically different than this when it's finished. I want a spot right there. And then, like I said, I'm gonna turn it off. Sometimes it takes a few times, and then let it flow that way. And see how it's breaking up. Have some cells in there. I'm just gonna let this spin. I'll do a little time lapse for you so you can see how it's gonna change.
Spinning slow like a carousel ride. Pink marble swirls with a glittering tide. Jamie's pup in the middle, oh so proud, adorable face in a pink cloud crowd. Hey, Michelle's hands work magic, oh you see, turning resin into artistry. A tumbler of dreams, for Jamie it gleams, her dog in the spotlight, still in the scene. The glitter glows like a starry sky. Epoxy pouring smooth, no need to try.
It's been a couple of hours. I've been letting it spin and it's dry. It looks really good. I like it. But because I had to put so much resin on to keep it moving for a while, it's got a tiny little bit of a ripple to it that I don't want to have when I put the decal on. So I mixed up 15 milliliters of the resin and I added a tiny little bit of the crushed crystal. Put a little sparkle in here for her since she kind of wanted some glitter. This is how we're gonna get her some glitter. So she'll get glitter and the pink drip at the same time. So I'm just gonna put this on. Hope it doesn't fisheye on me. I don't think I touched it with my finger, but I might have. I don't remember. I should have cleaned it with alcohol first, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna, you don't need a whole lot on your next several coats because we put it all on the first time. So now we're just coating it pretty thinly. And I'm just gonna let this spin overnight. And then we will put the decal. I've got the picture printed out and I have sealed it a couple of times. That way the ink from my printer doesn't run onto the resin. So I'm just gonna smooth it out like this time. And then I'll take my torch or heat gun or whatever and make sure all those bubbles are popped. Put a little bit more on here. And I need to wipe my hand all the time because it's always full of resin after doing that. And the bubbles come right out. However, the crushed crystal looks really sparkling, so you can't really tell the difference between the bubbles and the crystal. and then make sure you get your bottom. And I just stand here and I watch it for about 5 minutes, or I come back in 5 minutes. If it starts to separate at that point, it's never happened when I'm doing one on camera, so I never got this on camera. I don't want it to happen today, but if it starts separating with the fish eyes, like I was talking to you earlier, you're gonna wanna take it off, wipe all of this off with alcohol, get all of that resin off, and wash it with soapy water, then wash it down with alcohol. I use 99% alcohol. And then, of course, don't touch it with your hands, and then re-put it on. If you're still having an issue, there is this product here that Counterculture DIY makes. It's called Quick Coat. This is not cheap either, but it is a lifesaver, because you can put that sealer on really quickly, just like water. You don't even need gloves with it. Let it dry in like 15 minutes, and then put your Counterculture DIY epoxy on it. And I've never had a fisheye happen after that with those two products. But I could tell right now, everything looks amazing. It looks smooth. All my ripples are gone. And we will be able to put the little dog on right after this dries. So tomorrow morning, we're gonna put the decal on. We'll frame it out with some washi tape and see what else we can do to this to jazz it up for her. Maybe I've got a sticker that goes on the bottom with care instructions. We'll get that on. We have some decals to put on that she wants written out, so I'll get that cut. And yeah, we'll get this done in the next couple days.
Whirl of pink, a dash of gold, a masterpiece in Michelle's hold. Oh, spin it, cure it, let it shine, loving, crafting every line.
It's the next day, and I have already taken it off, obviously, sanded it down because we want another rough surface. And there's nothing really to fix on this. I did put my little sticker on the bottom that has the care instructions and put a little bit of sealer over that because the ink does run. Don't like that part of it, but I don't know why they use ink that runs. But it's time to put the decals on and the washi tape. So this is the dog picture. All I did was print it out on vinyl. It's like a sticker, that's all. I did wash it with soapy water and then alcohol first. So we're just gonna get the vinyl off and hopefully get it positioned as straight as humanly possible. And kind of equal distance between the top and the bottom as best that I can. And then just rub it down gently so you don't end up with some bubbles. Oh, I did spray it with Mod Podge Matte twice and let that dry completely. I did that yesterday while I was doing some other things, so it could be dried today, and that seals in the paint. And we're gonna seal it again with that sealer I showed you yesterday, but we'll do that over at the Tumbler turner. Not really for the picture for sealing, but for the washi tape. Washi tape is not fun to work with, and it doesn't like to stick very well. Okay, I think that's good. Now on the back, she wanted Dog Mom. So I pulled that off of my Cricut, and we're gonna get this centered kind of on the back. The best I can. I did it in silver because we're going to put silver washi tape as a frame around the dog. Come on. And this is going to get shined up really nicely under the epoxy. I know you can't see the crushed crystal. It's there, and I'm probably going to put some more on so everything looks covered. There we go. That looks good. So all I'm going to do now is take my tape and a knife, and I'm going to frame the dog. Let's see the best way to do this. just to cover that edge, that's all. And then the sealer is going to kind of glue this tape down, because in the past, the reason why I bought that sealer is before I knew about it, epoxy likes to lift this tape up, and then you have a lot bigger problems if your tape lifts. You would be redoing it, put it that way. You definitely do not want that to happen. So that's why I seal, if nothing else, just seal the tape, but I typically seal the whole tumbler. So it's it all has the same products on it at the same time, so you don't get those fish eyes I was talking about. And then this side, you don't have to buy like a cradle like this. You can actually make one yourself. I used to have one I made out of pool noodles. If you've seen people doing tumblers, a lot of people take 2 pool noodles and just tape them together, and then your tumbler will sit right in that center of the cradle. But then I ended up getting this one, so I don't use that anymore. One more. Just trying to line up the edge so you don't really notice it. And you can obviously pull this off as many times as you need to get it straight. There we go. What do you think? I think it's adorable. Okay, so let's go over to the tumbler turner. We're gonna get our sealer on here and let it dry, and then we will coat it a couple more times with epoxy. I don't know how many times. I won't bring you back every time, but I will let you know in the end how many coats it did take. Now you can always, right now, which there's nothing here right now, which is shocking, there's no epoxy here to trim off, but you can trim it off. I usually wait till the end. All right, let's go seal it. I just shook it up really well, and all I do is just rub it all over, especially the tape. Now this is not toxic. You can use no gloves if you want to, but who wants to wash that off their hands? Not me. So I just make sure I get it everywhere. And this is wet as well. It's water-based, and it can pop your washi tape off too. It has happened before, but at least there's no epoxy on it if that happens. You'll just have to start a little bit fresh and start over again, but it's so much easier when there's no epoxy on it. Just gonna get everything sealed. And being that this is the same brand as the resin that I use, they pretty much work hand in hand, I'm pretty sure. That's what they're for. Get that sealed in. Everything looks good. This doesn't take long to dry, maybe 20 minutes. And then I'll go ahead and mix up some more epoxy, put a little bit of crushed crystal in there. I'll stick you on a little fast forward as I cover it with some more coats. And then basically we're just gonna clean it after it's all finished. So let's get some epoxy on it.
Jamie gleams, her dog in the spotlight, stealing the scene. The glitter glows like a starry sky, epoxy pouring smooth, no need to try. A swirl of pink, a dash of gold, a masterpiece in
The tumbler is done, you guys, but before I show you that, I got some happy mail in the mail today, and this one is a gift from Rhonda. Again, she sent me stuff the other day, so this was on my list of my wish list, and I literally ran out when I was doing the Rolio video because I used so many of them, and I know I say I don't like them, but these really do come in handy. I do have the other little ones that was bought for me as well, but those are really, really nice. I don't like to use like a whole bunch of those little ones. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So these ones, I have lots and lots of them, but I really, really like them. So I use them sparingly. So when I'm like throwing them away, these come in really handy, and they came with some stir sticks. So thank you, Rhonda. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I got another shipment in from Fanny. Fanny sent this, and this came as a set. And these are all like crystallized little tag things. There's a hole in them, in all of them. And they're pretty good size. So I'm not sure if they're keychains or bag pendants, things like that. But look at all these shapes and sizes. These came from Temu. I'll try to get the link for you. And they have all the little facets in there, and they get bigger and bigger. Look at that. And then 2 big round ones. So we'll have to pour these and see what they look like. Hopefully they shine just as beautiful as a normal crystallized mold. I don't see why they wouldn't. So thank you so much, Fanny. I appreciate you. And then Sparkle sent me a gift. I didn't even open it. She even had Amazon gift wrap it for me. So I wanted to show you the beautiful gift wrapping. So Sparkle says, I watched your video today using Rolio products. I wasn't sure if you liked mica powder or liquid better, so I'm sending the pearl liquid. Enjoy, from Sparkle. So I didn't even open it. I don't know what it is. Obviously, it's got some sparkle in it. Let me try to get this open. This is a nice bag. I will reuse it. They even put some tissue paper in there. Aren't they sweet? Rolio Pearlescent Colors Resin Liquid Pigments. I wonder if these are like those ones I bought from Temu and I couldn't get you guys the link. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, I'm gonna like these. Yes, Sparkle, you know me well. They are like the ones from Temu, and it's the whole package. See how the bottom is sparkling? So I'll stick a little ball bearing in the bottom of all these, and I'll use that super duper mixer that somebody bought me and mix these up before I use them. So these are pearlescent pigments. Thank you so much, Sparkle. I am definitely going to love these. Look at all the colors. How many colors does it say? 24 colors. Yay! Love that. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. That was exciting. I love everything you guys send me. I do. I really do. Here is the final tumbler. So it's got 4 coats on it. Everything is underneath the resin. I don't see anything anywhere. I don't even know that it needs, let me pull this out. So if I would have spray painted this one, which I did not do because it was already white, I would be cleaning the inside of all the spray paint with acetone. I'll probably clean it anyway. Around this edge, I really don't feel I did a really good job. I have to pat myself on the back because typically there's a little bit. Usually there's a lot of resin like going into the inside, and you can just use your knife and it'll come right off. But on this one, there is hardly anything at all. I do have a lid and a straw for her as well. I have the lid in here. I do not have the straw in here. But look at that adorable little face, and it's sparkling with the crushed crystal all over it. And there's Dog Mom. I hope you like it. I think it's adorable. I love your dog. Who could not love that dog? She is so sweet. All right, well, there is my tumbler video for a while. I don't do them often because I know most of you do not do tumblers, so I try not to do them too often for you guys. I do have a whole playlist of them, though. Anywhere from water slides to glitters to decals to I have the snow globe kinds of tumblers I've done. So if you do like Tumbler videos, go into my playlist in my channel and you will find a whole bunch of Tumbler videos that I've done throughout the couple years that I've been on here. Well, I will get you guys some pictures. There's not a whole lot of pictures on today's, but I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for joining me. Tomorrow I have a guest coming back, so make sure you come in for that one. You're going to like it. You liked it the first time. I'm pretty sure you'll like it this time, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So come back tomorrow, 6 o'clock. I'll see you guys then. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye.
Glitz and glitter paint her way. She lights up hearts come what may. With a brush of faith she starts. Jesus whispers through her art. Patience blooms in every hue. Her love for viewers shines so true. Shimmer sparkles in her eyes. A radiant soul under bright skies. Glitz and glitter, Michelle, a story. Her colors tell faith and love in every part. Jesus guides her shining heart.